Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. That divine absolute is perfect. This relative existence, that also is perfect. When this relative comes from the absolute perfection, and when this relative is taken away, when it is gone, what remains, that too is perfect. So, isn't it perfect? So, it is all perfection. So, the topic, I had been thinking of this topic for many, many years. I had written a few things explaining this, not exactly with this title, but I actually gave a talk in New York that was originally a Zoom talk during the COVID time. So with this title, Vedanta and Humor. And some of them, they were skeptic. What is this title? Vedanta and Humor? Vedanta, like many of us feel, it's something serious. And humor is something to be taken light-heartedly. I differ, friends, that Vedanta is serious, no doubt, but humor is a way to make the serious things understood. Humor is a literary art to create humor, and many times we use humor as a tool to make certain points very clear. It is, you see many colloquial examples in this, that for example, when somebody does something and tells, you should do like this, then that person makes a comment, am I so stupid? Now it is, although there is no answer expected to this question, it is a point to make that I am not stupid and therefore I won't do what you are telling me to do. So let us see first a little bit some serious points, friends. What is humor? Humor, all scholars of literature, they agree that humor is produced by contradictions. And in our experience, we see conflicts and contradictions, and that makes us feel like smiling or laughing, how both can be true. But then we see both to be true. So that is, humor is generated by incongruencies, contradictions in our day-to-day experience. See, please let us not confuse humor with laughter. Humor may bring laughter, but as such laughter can come even without humor. It is not necessarily connected. Have you not seen babies laughing? Now they don't understand any language, no humor, but they still smile, laugh, because humor is not necessarily required for laughter. And there are many types of humor which do not bring out a loud laughter. You feel a bit amused in your heart. It doesn't mean that you have to laugh loudly. Some type of humor is like that, where it excites loud laughter, but not everything. Certain humors you feel humored, but you don't feel like laughing loudly at it. It is a very subtle hint that there is some contradiction there. So one has to learn to separate humor and laughter. Some of you might have attended some laughter yoga sessions. Have you? Laughter yoga. There is no humor as such there, but you start deliberately laughing. Laughter yoga, it's a very good way of exercise, because normally other exercise things like you lift weights or do some other hatha yoga practices. Laughter yoga is much later addition to this yoga system, sometimes in 1970s or so far, that one Dr. Kothari in Mumbai, he started this. Because, and it is so true, as a medico, he saw that all these other exercises that we do, they give exercise to the big muscles. What about the smaller muscles? They get a little exercise while the bigger muscles are also getting exercise, but there has to be a way by which our small muscles, like the muscles that are moving our, heart, lungs, they are small. These movements, muscular movements in our face, they are also muscles, and they also need exercise. How can you get that? The muscles in the abdomen, how do they get exercise? The external big muscles do get exercise through various known yoga practices. But the small muscles, they get exercise with laughter yoga. You laugh. It is just no humor required. There is, some 10-15 or more people sit together and they keep on just laughing. It is very infectious, let me tell you. And then those experts in laughter yoga, they tell you how different small muscles can get exercise. One in Rhode Island, there is an expert in this field, laughter yoga. So he had given a nice session to us, and then he showed there is a laughter of a tiger, for example. Can you imagine tiger laughing? But even this thought brings laughter to us. Tiger laughing. He kept. So it is when tiger sees a prey now about to devour it. So it is, the tiger has one kind of smile. He showed many kinds of that laugh, some very loud laughter. It helps to take out the gas inside, You can see sure that this is easy to understand, that gas accumulated gets thrown out. Once I was having lot of pain in the stomach and abdomen, this whole ribs were having lot of pain, and then the doctor said might be just gases. I had returned from a long lecture tour, and so at that time my monastic friends there, they said, "Hey, you gave so many lectures and still some gas is left." They are very cruel, that still gas is left. And friends, it is thus, please, this is first point I want to make. Separate laughter from humor. That humor may cause laughter, may not cause laughter. And laughter may be because of humor or may not be because of humor. It is something that one can deliberately do. It is, therefore, let me now tell you that when you learn to separate this, now let us see how Vedanta and humor are so closely connected. I told right in the beginning this point that the humor is generated by conflicting or contradictory facts that we face. Many times you hear something and a different idea gets conveyed, and then again that makes you laugh, or there is the humor that you sense because there is contradiction. And humor comes from that. Vedanta is full of that right from the beginning. This is the biggest humor in the world, that it is one without second. The reality, the divine, is one without second, and yet it appears as infinitely variegated view that we get. It is, but it is confusing. Are there many or there is one? Is it all multiplicity or it is oneness? So, and friends, if you look into it, you will see that this is a very deep question, apparently very simple, but very profound. Even in the ordinary things, it is very difficult to decide whether it is one or many. I tell sometimes that joke that I had heard in my childhood. In a school, the teacher, primary school, teacher was teaching some grammar, like the numbers, singular, plural, etc. And just to test, the teacher asked this question. So now you understood, kids, singular and plural. Tell me whether these pants, is it singular or plural? So a bright kid stood up and said, on the upper side it is singular, on the lower side it is plural. Isn't it? So you cannot exactly say whether it is singular or plural. And it is true with everything. Like our Avanish sitting, he sang so well, and is he singular or plural? When you look it as the whole, one person, singular. But if you look at various limbs he has, that very thing becomes multiple. If you think, like a microbiologist may think of him as a collection of billions of cells, then it is, that very one Avanish becomes billions. So it is like that. Everything is at one plane, one, as well as at another plane, many. Like the congregation here. Congregation is singular. How many people, congregation, if you see, as collection of people. There are so many. So it is many or one. It is one and many. When you see these questions as, tell me it is one or many. It can be either one or many. Vedantists say, no, it is not one or many. It is one and many. It is one and many because it depends on the view, what view you take. And from one point it is many, from another point it is one. So Vedanta posits this reality that this one without second existence itself, which is also the consciousness and knowledge itself and bliss itself, that one without second existence appears without any change. There is no change in that, no process gets involved. It appears as many, without any process, without any change. And God, although one, without any change, is seen as this whole universe. So, this is the Vedanta tells that this is our experience. It is one without second and yet appears as this infinitely varied universe. So can try to fathom this truth, friends. It is contradictory, one will feel it is contradictory. How can both be true? Tell that it is one, yes it is one. Is it many? Yes, it is many too. There is no contradiction in it. Because it is, why you are thinking? Your thinking has this problem. The problem is not in the truth, but in your thinking that it has to be one or many. But Vedantists say, no, it is one and many. So there is a humor involved right there. Right in the beginning there is this humor that the contradictory things are brought together in Vedanta. So in Sri Ramakrishna's teachings, first actually long ago I thought of this when I was reading Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This is something that more than 45 years ago, and I was struck with the tremendous humor that is involved in it. That it is so funny that it is the one God appears as many. If you read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, imagine the very first scene when M, the chronicler, goes to Sri Ramakrishna. Think of that scene. M, a person highly educated in the Western sense of this word, and was had at that time it was rare to find a person with this master's degree, 2 master's degree he had. M. So Mahendranath Gupta. So he had therefore that sense, that ego, that I know. When you get some degrees, then one starts feeling, I know. Although actually you do not know much. So far as this truth is concerned. But this gives rise to ego. Oh, I have learnt a lot. And then he salutes Sri Ramakrishna, and then Sri Ramakrishna, while conversing, asked him the question, okay, do you believe God with form or you believe in God without form. This gave a shock to him. How can it be both? He said, what is the God with form? No, I don't believe in that. I believe God without form. That used to be the fashion of those who had lot of university education then. That it is the God cannot be having any form. So, Sri Ramakrishna said, that is fine that you believe in God without form. But know that that very God can take forms also. You cannot put any limitation on God. By the very fact that it's God that you are talking about, who are you to put limitations on God? That God, if God is without form, cannot take forms, that very God can take forms also. Somebody would like to worship God with a form. Somebody may like to worship without form. Actually, there is very rarely somebody qualified to worship God without form. Very rare, I would say, because it requires us to go beyond one's own form. If you think of yourself as a form, then your God as a constitutional necessity will have a form. You cannot fathom the idea of God without form. Swami Vivekananda has deliberated on this quite a few times. Especially you find it in his beautiful small book, Bhakti Yoga. And he mentions there that the only person who can really worship God without form is the one that has transcended one's own form. In another place he gives a very nice analogy in that suppose if a cow thinks of God, then for the cow, the God would be a big, enormous cow, because that is determined by the cow's perception, cow's thinking. Man also, we have that anthropomorphic limitations. We think in terms of all humans. So it is, thus we are not qualified. How many can go beyond the form? It is, in most cases, we start with form and gradually see the nature of the truth and learn to go beyond one's own form. Intellectually it is easily appreciable, but our awareness does not change that fast. It is intellectually you can see that you are not this particular body. I was telling that in Pittsburgh today, that look, one can see, just as I am able to see this microphone, so this microphone is seen, not the seer. Similarly, I am able to see the body, so body is also what? Seen, not the seer. And therefore, I cannot be body. The soul is different from body. So I am not body. And there is a funny story one Swami had told. He was not from our order, but he gave a very nice talk. So he said, once I was traveling from Mumbai to France. So he, at the counter in Mumbai, was looking at this Swami dress. The person on the counter said, "Oh, you people talk that we are not body, etc. What are we but body? We are body. And the Swami said, right here I can prove that I am not body. I have got a return ticket from Mumbai to Paris and back to Mumbai. Now suppose, imagine that after reaching Paris, I get a heart attack and I die there. Can my body can it be brought back on the same return ticket that I have? I have a return ticket, so can my body come? No, you have to, a separate cargo ticket had to be purchased. Why? If you say I am just body, the body is there, I got heart attack, but the body is there. So had the body been I, and the same ticket should have been valid there, but this body cannot be brought on that ticket. So even Air France agrees that we are not bodies. So it is, and yet we cannot escape. It is easy to intellectually show. This is another point of humor, you know. We understand intellectually, but our practical implementation lags far behind. So it is easy to see that I am not body, because you probably, most of you at least, had some snack and tea or whatever. Now that was not you. You never thought that it is that snacks is you. But now, as it has gone here in the tummy, then that very thing you are calling as I, isn't it? So it is, that is again therefore somewhat humorous, that, and it is important therefore to see this truth. And why does it happen? As human beings, we are conditioned to ask this why. Why does this happen? Now there is really no answer to it. It is ignorance. We confuse things because of ignorance. One thing is seen as another. And the values, as this time when I had gone to India, somebody told a very nice joke, a very appropriate for this illustration, that he's told that one elderly lady was writing a letter to her elder brother, and she wrote, I know because of your condition of your eyes, you read very slowly, and therefore I am writing this letter also very slowly. Now what has your writing speed got to do? But that is how the values get confused. Vedanta tells that it is thus the all-pervading nature of the reality gets covered. Things get confused, just as the reading speed of that gentleman has nothing to do with the writing speed of his sister. But still the things get confused. Another person was quite old and half senile, so was on the phone telling a friend, oh, you know, my son told that soon he is getting a baby, a child is going to be born to my daughter-in-law, but he didn't clarify whether it will be a son or daughter. And so therefore I am not sure whether we will be grandfather or grandmother. It is. So these things are, great teachers of Vedanta. That That is how we confuse things here. So therefore, a God who is everywhere, God who is everywhere, we try to find out where that God is. It cannot be pointed out, because that which is everywhere cannot be pointed out. That which is only in one place and not in other places, that can be pointed out. But that which is everywhere, one cannot point out. So therefore, when you say, where is God? In Vedanta or in most all major religions, the answer could be God is everywhere. But we do not get satisfied with it. Everywhere? Then I don't see everywhere. Well, you do not see many things which exist. One nice humor I heard, that if you see with naked eyes, if you see yogurt, do you see any worms crawling there? What? Then our South Indian friends here, they will not eat yogurt, and yogurt is something that they want. Without that they can't survive, It is yogurt, rice. The food has to be concluded, meals has to be concluded with some yogurt rice. Now if they see yogurt with microscope, they will see all different worms, and they are there, but we do not, normal vision that we have cannot make it apparent. So similarly, God is everywhere, but we do not see that because our vision is clouded. It is. So therefore what happens? What is not, we see that. What is, we miss that. That is how this truth gets clouded, covered. This is the humorous part. It is there. Shankaracharya, who appears, for many, he is a very serious writer. Shankaracharya's commentaries are the greatest way of understanding many truths of Vedanta. And people feel that he has been very serious in approach, but he also has some humor struck in the Kathopanishad, one commentary, for one verse, which says that this, our true self, Atman, is Sarva Bhuteshu Gudha, has hidden in every single particle, and yet na drishyate, it is not seen by ordinary people, because we do not have the refined vision. Drishyate, then next line he says, na drishyate, then drishyate, but can be seen by those who have developed that kind of vision. Those who have microscope, they will be able to see the worms in the yogurt. The others will not be able to see. So similarly, God is here, right here. So he tells that this world, people think is this world, although everything is coming and going, like a magician's magic. Things appear and disappear, and people still are convinced that it is. And about God, they say that it is not there. What is the proof for existence of God? God is isness. So what is the meaning of proof of existence of God? God is existence itself. And that is how Vedanta or Hinduism present God. That God is existence itself. So, if God that is not there, then you are also not there, because God is existence. So, and he says that this world, although you see that it comes and goes, vanishes, still you think it to be real. And the God who is an unchanging reality, or the unchanging reality in everything, you feel, no, God doesn't exist. Where is that God? So it is right here, right here amongst us. So there is that story, many of you must have read that story in Bhagavatam, story of Prahlada. Prahlada was a great devotee, but his father was a terrible demon, didn't believe in any God apart from he himself. I am God. I rule everything. I am so powerful. And so this little child of his, he was taking the name of God right from the beginning. He tried to, train the child through various ways that is all false. No other God but your father. That's it. He wouldn't accept. He tried to then kill him, but so many attempts he made to kill by various means, they were all futile. And so he then confronted this little child. Hey, show me your God. I could not kill you, but I will then kill the God. Where is that God? Now imagine the scene, That is, in a way, very humorous scene. This little child and this very terrible figure of this demon is threatening, come on, you child, tell me, where is that God? Now Prahlada is seeing God everywhere. So he said, how can I tell where the God is? God is. Then Hiranyakashipu said, what do you mean by being everywhere? Is he in this pillar? There was a pillar in that hall. Is that God in this pillar? And Prahlada says, if the God is everywhere, he is in the pillar as well. So Hiranyakashipu kicked that pillar, and a figure, very powerful and fearsome figure, comes from that pillar and kills this Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad's, this demonical father. The point is that those who have their understanding refined, they will be able to see the God that is. In some Vedanta text, this very nice example is given. Okay, as you stand on the shore of ocean, are you seeing ocean or waves? Are you seeing ocean or waves?
I see ocean.
Huh?
I see ocean.
You see
I know that
ocean.
waves.
Correct, yeah. You see ocean, but that does not remove the waves. The waves and ocean, they are not contradictions. So, wave is a localized expression, that this wave, and this wave as such it appears, but really it comes and goes. by the time you say, hey, look at this wave, it has already changed. So similarly, everything here keeps on changing. It is not real, therefore. So the reality is this ocean. It is the reality of all waves also. It is because the wave rises and falls, and thus it has no existence as such. It is a transitory thing. So this is what Vedanta tells, that see this humor, this contradiction, that it is all pervading one existence, and it appears as so many without any change. That without any change is very baffling to people, because we feel that without change, how that one becomes many. There must be some process involved. So in Vedanta these examples are given that, see, we see dream. Do we see dreams? Do you see dream, Arupta? Huh? Never.
All the time.
All the time, yeah. So in the dream, you see this variety, all such things, many funny things which in waking state we consider as not possible. It is all illogical. But in the dream they appear to be perfectly rational. That it is, for example, in dream, you won't have a problem in riding that unicorn. Unicorn, you don't know any unicorn on this earth, but in the dream it is possible that you can take a ride to different planets on a unicorn. And then, what is this all variety? Where was it? It was just one mind that appeared as all this, and without any change. Nothing really changed, but you were seeing this multiplicity. And this multiplicity here also is like that. It comes, it goes. There is no stability to it. God alone is the stable reality in this world. And Sri Ramakrishna uses, how can you do this? How can you experience this? So one has to concentrate on that one. As you concentrate on that and get yourself detached from this illusory experience, one has to get detached from that. So if you don't get detached and repeat the name of God only, or do some spiritual practice, and won't be any meaning to that spiritual practice. So Sri Ramakrishna used to tell a very humorous story, that look, once a few friends, they wanted to go to the other shore of a river, and so they had a boat, so they went to the other shore, tied their boat there, and then a lot of fun they had during the evening there, and they got drunk also. And so, but it is time, now we have to go back. So they came and sat in the boat and then started rowing fast. It almost became dawn. They were able to see now the things around, and they were wondering why. The boat hasn't moved an inch. The boat did not move at all because they never untied that boat from the bank, So, this is the nature of our efforts, that we think that we may take the name of God and so forth, Will that not be effective? It is like only rowing without untying. So therefore, one must untie, and that is called detachment. One has to practice the detachment in life. Means to know that this is not I, the body is not I, and then all the offshoots of the body, like my children, not mine. It is, they are not my children. It is, one has to get detached from this. Otherwise, the rowing will not be effective at all. And this detachment, why people do not practice it? Because it is very difficult. We get into the habit, that this is mine, and this is my son, my daughter, my so and so. Oh, how did that is yours? And there is no reason to call that is mine. No parents actually have made the children. Nobody consciously thought that I will make the nose of my son like this, ear like this, eyes like this. Nothing. It just appeared. It is, the parents were just secondary instruments, like somebody types a thesis for PhD on a computer. Can the computer claim the doctorate? Who should get the doctorate? Not the computer, it was just a secondary instrument. So also parents are just secondary instruments in that. They cannot claim that this is my child. It is that soon they realize, that when the children here, they go to college. Oh, see, you are already laughing. Then most parents complain, oh, my son or my daughter does not pick up my phone. Yeah, because their interests have changed, And one such child, one student in college told, oh, I don't pick up the phone from mom, because as soon as I pick up, she asks the same question. What did you eat today? Now what is to answer? So one student said, I only say I ate food. So it is. One lady, very intelligent, our devotee, and then she was not eliciting any answer from her son, champagne. So she wanted to get in touch with him and was not able to. So what she did, instead of calling him by her phone, used the phone of his friend. And then it was immediately picked up, you see. So it is. So are they your children? Just think of it. It is, as long as it is convenient, fine, When it is not convenient, it is different, you see. So this is how nothing is really mine. This is an important teaching in Vedanta, to have the Vedanta practically implemented. Please let us understand Vedanta is a practical science. It is not just theoretical something. It is to be implemented in one's life. Otherwise, there is no use of reading the Vedanta treatises. There is a lot of theoretical non-dualist these days that I see, that they can tell you all the theories about non-dualism, how this world is all illusory and so forth. They read this Ashtavakra, that Gita, or Drishya Viveka, very great books, no doubt. But these are to be implemented. Otherwise, we carry an intellectual idea, which is really not the case. Our intellectually, how do we, our knowledge of Vedanta is what? In Vedanta, classical Vedanta, they tell a joke about it. Very nice story. That a blind man was there. So he was not able to see anything, and then some friends were there, asked, would you like to take some milk? He said, what is milk? Oh, well, it is a white liquid. White? Now for a blind, white, black, blue, doesn't make any sense. White. What is white? White. It is like the color of a crane. Crane? What is the crane? A crane, you see, has a neck like a sickle. Has a sickle-like bent neck. So he heard all this, and at another place he was just trying to move around. Somebody said, be careful, there is sickle there. You may cut your fingers, there is a sickle there. He said, oh, so there is milk. So sickle, howsoever analogies you give, it is not milk. So our learning of Vedanta intellectually is like that. Because this is the truth that is beyond speech, beyond thought. That is, because thought is conditioning it. Speech is conditioning it. And therefore, intellectually understanding and forming an image of it is not real. There is another nice humorous story that two monastic spiritual aspirants were doing their practice in a cave in Himalayas. So they used to beg the food from some people around, and one of them was very studious. He would open some big books of Vedanta and study. The other would collect alms for both of them. Then he would study, and then after a couple of hours of study, would close the book and would say, can't understand. Can't understand. And this was going on days after days, months after months. Every day he would be studying for 2 or 3 hours, and then after a bit tired with that, close the book and say, can't understand. So after a few years passed like that, one day, similar day, he again started reading the book, and the other monastic, he went to get the alms. And this day also, after his studies, as he was closing the book, and he said, understood. A friend said, well, every day you had been saying for years, every day you had been saying, can't understand. And then today, how do you say, I understood? What did you understand? Share with me your understanding. What did you understand? And this friend said, I understood that it cannot be understood. It cannot be understood. That is what I understood, that it is beyond intellect. It cannot be pinpointed. There is, in this sense, there is one very humorous answer you find in Kenopanishad. The question is very deep. The disciple who asked this question must be a very advanced person. Normally, you don't get such questions. His question was Kene shitam patati preshitam manah, that how does mind gets propelled to think. Somebody must be making the mind go to think, because mind is a machine. And see, we have to see this. Mind is a machine. And so all our feelings and everything that we say, they are just mechanical. It is. So, what makes the mind go after things? What makes the eyes see? Who uses the eyes? Who uses the ears? Because these are all the machine, and the machine requires a user of the machine. Who uses these things? Our sensory organs, our motor organs, the mind behind. Who uses that? The question is, of course, a very genuine question. I used to get this question in my childhood, that, well, who is that? Why I think these eyes are mine and those eyes belong to somebody else? What is the difference? How these eyes function, how these ears function, how these legs walk, and so forth. Who is that who makes them work? That conscious entity, where is that? And then the teacher answered, and there comes the humor. The teacher doesn't say, this particular being propels them. That should have been a logical answer that was requested. Oh, there is this being who makes the mind go after things. This is something and that makes the eyes see. The teacher answered in a somewhat very enigmatic manner that, oh, it is the eye of the eye, ear of the ear, mind of the mind, shrotrasya shrotram manaso manoyat, vachasya vacham sau pranasya pranaha. So it is all these things. Who propels the eyes, who makes the eyes see? It is the eye of the eye. And naturally, that means nothing, It is just taking the question back. Then again the question would be, who is making the eye of the eyes, see? So it is, the teacher said, you see, we don't know any other way of explaining it, because this is beyond speech, and so I cannot answer it by speech. It is beyond thought, so I cannot even think about it. But it is. It is. So you can experience it. You cannot narrate it. You cannot pinpoint it. But you can experience that. That is how our teachers have taught it. And a student thereby, gradually he practices those things. Practicing detachment, practicing this focusing on that which is beyond all relativities. It is, and it manifests like that. It starts manifesting. It is, we are sure we are. There is another Upanishad that tells that Atman is, and that is the reality. I am, that is the reality that cannot be refuted. It is other things you can say that could be illusory, but I am, that is, cannot be refuted. because to refute I am, you require another I, isn't it? So I cannot be removed. And I is everywhere. And there is this Brihadaranyaka Upanishad tells this funny narrative. If I ask him, he will say, who are you? He will say, I am Arup. If I ask him, he will say, I am Samuel. If I ask her, what's your name?
Carly.
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 Cornick.
Carly.
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 Huh?
Carly.
Carly.
Corlin. Am I right now? Okay,
No.
Cord. Huh? No. Huh?
C-A-R-L-I. Carly.
Karli. She had told me she had come to Providence, So she will say, I am Carly. He will say, I am Avanish. And I forgot the name of this girl sitting there by your side, Avanish.
Sri Lalita.
She will, I am Sri Lalita. So the Upanishad says, look, everybody has told the real name first. I am is the real name that cannot be changed. Other names can be changed. If she thinks that Carly, nobody seems to be pronouncing it right, even the Swami that could not pronounce, let me change it to a simpler name. Not that it is, she will do, it's a nice name, Carly, but if she wants to say change it to Joan, she has to just file an affidavit and do that. So these names can be changed, but I am, that cannot be changed. So the Upanishad says that is our real name. We are Atman. We are really nothing but Atman. And that Atman is same in everyone. Not that a person who looks like a virtuous person, holy person, has one Atman, and a devilish fellow will have another Atman. No, same. That Atman is all pervading one existence. There is no multiplicity in them. Appearances are multiple. Just imagine, there is this movie like depicting the life of Jesus and then the crucifixion. It is all shown on the screen. Now what is Jesus there? It is screen, isn't it? It is screen. And then those who are crucifying, they are also just the screen. That is the reality. If Avanish feels, oh, they are killing, let me stop that killing, and goes forward and tries to, rescue Jesus from them, what will he do? He will only touch the screen, isn't it? Only screen is there, and the same screen in Jesus as well as those who are crucifying Jesus. And no two different, if you have two different screens, no, one for Jesus and one for all those rascals, no, then there will be no movie. It is all have the same one without second self. This is like a big movie, That is why Shakespeare said that the world is theatre. This world is a theatre. We are just coming here like actors, finish our role and go. It is everything here is really having the same one reality. So this is to be seen. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell that this world, he used to tell in a humorous way, that it is right with us. Many think that how God can be realized. Some get the feeling it is very difficult. Some feel that, oh, it is possible only for monastics, not for us. No, friends. God being our own reality, that God realization is possible for everyone. So, one nice story Sri Ramakrishna used to narrate. One man, imagine a village set up more than 100 years ago. So, a man wanted to have a tobacco smoke, was addicted to it, and at night now he was not able to sleep without having a smoke. He had one pipe, he had tobacco, pipe, and then he found the fire is not there. Those were not the days that you have the matchstick. No. It is, people have to have, with great effort they would create the fire and keep it burning for a long time. So it is, he saw there is no fire, so he thought that let me go. It was already late at night, so let me go to my friend in the next lane and get some fire. I cannot sleep without this, it is, I have to have smoke. When you are addicted, it becomes, so difficult. So he took a lantern in his hand and then went there. Khut, 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 khut. His friend was fast asleep. So after knocking many times loudly, finally the fellow opened the door. Hey, what is this? What do you want? Oh, why did you come at this hour? I wanted to have a smoke. I was not able to sleep without smoking. I have the pipe, tobacco, but no fire. So can you give me some fire? The neighbor said, my goodness, you took this trouble, gave trouble to me, while all the time this burning lantern is in your hand. It is right. You gave trouble to me. Like that, friends, God is right with us. You don't have to go to somewhere in Himalayas to find God. You won't find there either. It is right within. Just look into yourself and then you will find who you are. That is one of the major inquiries of Vedanta. Who are you? Try to think about it. And then there is a story narrated about Shankaracharya. He was a small child, some 5-6 years old, and travelled a long distance on foot from Kerala and that Kaladi, that town in the South India. And then he was telling that Swami came from all the way from Providence to here. Nothing, I just got into the flight and then came. So it is, that fellow, little 6-year-old, had to walk through all these dense forests to Omkareshwar, where his destined guru, teacher, was awaiting his presence, as it were. The name of that teacher was Govindapad. And to cut the story short, it was, he took himself in the presence of this great teacher Govindapad. And Govindapad was in deep meditation. But as soon as this little child Shankara enters, opens his eyes and asks, "Who are you? Who are you?" Had it been myself there, I would have answered, "I am Yogatmananda. I live in Providence. This is my educational qualification. This is my all that." I would have told many things. But this little boy, hearing this question, started reciting the hymn. Mano buddhi ahankar chitta ninaham. I am not mind, intellect, ego, this body or anything. I have nothing. I am Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am the Chit Ananda Shiva. I am that existence itself, knowledge itself, bliss itself. I don't have any doubt about it. It is, and not only Shankara, everybody is just that, existence, knowledge, bliss. All that is required is to experience this, know this, and that will dispel all ignorance. There is nothing else needs to be done. There is no doing required, just knowing that is required. What should I do? Well, stop doing. The problem is that we cannot stop doing. Always busy with nothing basically. And thus sitting quiet becomes very difficult for us. So just sit quiet and ponder over who you really are, and then that knowledge dawns. It is, and why then we don't see it? Vedanta says we don't know. It is frankly, they say, we don't know the cause. It is Maya. Maya is not an explanation. Maya is a word that gives this idea, this statement of fact, as Vivekananda says, that although we are actually ever blissful, as Brahman, we are ever blissful, but what is our condition? Constantly worried and suffering. What will happen then? Then shall I get a job? If I lose this job, what will happen to my family? Will my spouse then divorce me? And all those worries, it is, you keep on thinking about those problems. Actually, nothing is going to happen. You just have to see this truth. This Maya is this contradiction. And that is this contradiction, as I told in the beginning, is this humor. It is all incongruence, that what you love today, you don't love tomorrow. All changes, that it is the relationships change, the attraction gets converted into repulsion, the repulsion becomes attraction. This is all contradiction that a little child told nicely, some family friends had come to their home, and just to make that child talk, one gentleman asked, "Hey laddie, whom do you love more, your mom or dad?" Now the child was, children, not what we think. They are politically very correct always. They don't want to alienate dad or mom by taking one name. So the child said, I like my dad, my mom is also great, but I love ice cream. So when my mom gives me ice cream, she is wonderful. When my dad does that, my dad also is wonderful. So it is like that, that it is, these relations are flimsy, not real, and we experience it. So, but we don't want to acknowledge it, that the God alone is the source of love. God alone is loved. All other things are not loved except through God. It is again a somewhat funny statement in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad that look, a person does not love the spouse for the spouse's sake, loves the spouse for the sake of oneself. Nobody loves the children for the sake of children, but for one's own sake the children are loved. Nobody loves any money or property for the sake of it, but for oneself it is loved. It is, if you look at it closely, you will agree to this statement that it is like a mom will say, I love my child. Any child will not be loved. It has to be my child. So some I has been put into it, That is why it is my. So that is why that is loved. It is my spouse. It is not anybody but my. When you connect that my, then it is loved. You put some I in it. So it is like you put sugar in things that, okay, how the pudding becomes sweet, how the cookies become sweet, how the ice cream becomes sweet. Yes, what is the reason for their sweetness, Avanish? Sugar. And as much sugar you put, that much sweet it will become. Thank you. It is, what do you put in sugar to make it sweet? He is laughing. What a question. I didn't think that Swami doesn't understand even this. We are this self, always lovable. It is, other things are conditionally loved. You will see that I love you, well, provided there are conditions. You do this, you do this. It is, so if one doesn't do it, the love is gone. It doesn't take time to go. So because it is not really love at all, the love is only for the self. And this is to be acknowledged that yes, and therefore there Yajnavalkya tells his wife, this is the great conversation between husband and wife. I would suggest people to read it, very, very illuminating. So Yajnavalkya says, therefore, Atman being the most loved, we should strive by all means, with everything at our disposal, to realize that Atman, experience that. And how to do it? He says, well, first thing is keep on hearing about it. Try to take it in, this information about I, the Atman, take it from the sages. Then mantavyaha, shrotavyaha, Mantavya means meditate on it. It is like digesting, You put the food in mouth, it doesn't get digested immediately. A lot of process goes on, and so this what you hear needs to be digested, meditated upon. That is called manana. And then hold on to it. Let it not be slipped away. Hold on, nididhyasana. And then you will realize it, because you are that. And nobody should ever think that realizing God or Atman is not possible for me, because that is our true nature. If something is to be imported from outside or is not easily available, somebody was, was applying some ointment to my aching legs, and then that was over. And then he went to search for the ointment to buy it again, and then told me it's not available anymore. Probably the manufacturer has stopped its production. It is not there at all. So to get those things, whether possible or not, depends on many things. But Atman, it is my nature. How can I not have it? Let us not feel despondent that, I have spent my life in many other things. Now it is too late for me to do spiritual practice for getting Atman. No, it is right here with us. Just see and you have it. It is, you are not really deprived of Atman at any moment. There is, I quoted that at Pittsburgh also, a very nice song by a Marathi saint. He had this way of presenting things in a somewhat humorous way. That song is like, oh, what do you do when water becomes thirsty? Can water become thirsty? What do you think? When you are thirsty, what do? Drink water. Now the question is, if water becomes thirsty, what is to be done? The idea is water cannot become thirsty. Just as water cannot become thirsty, we can never become miserable. Can we ever be devoid of bliss? Not possible, because we are bliss itself. Just as sugar doesn't need to be added with something to make it sweeter, and sugar is sweetness. So similarly, we are bliss itself. We have to accept this truth and see that yes, I am bliss itself. And that will stop your running to grab many things for happiness. I am happiness itself. Why do I need to grab things, other things to become happy? It is a stupid idea. Let us, so one way of understanding Vedanta, very simple. Stop being stupid. Isn't it? Do we like to be stupids? Who likes to be stupid? Anybody here? No, nobody is raising hand. Nobody likes to be stupid. So give up stupidity. That I am divine. Assert this truth. I am divine. I am bliss itself. I don't need anything to become happy. Nothing can make me sad either. Just as nothing can make the water thirsty. So friends, I have discussed a few things. There is a lot of things, that it is, and one idea in humor is the humor in the lectures, in the classes, and in all the Vedanta literature, you will find used in limited quantity. Too much of humor and laughter will take the minds away from the main topic of discussion. That should not happen. Humor is to bring more concentration on what is being discussed. So the humor should be limited, like when you prepare nice food, you put salt to make it tasty in a limited quantity. It is not that whole lot of salt. No, and salt is a very minimal quantity of salt one has to use. So similarly, humor also is to be used in a limited way. So therefore, I didn't tell you too many jokes, isn't it? Yeah. Otherwise, it would have lost the meaning. And so, I have taken a lot of your time. So now we will stop this discussion. Very good question, As I mentioned, Vedanta is a practical science. So one should approach this first by learning this, focus on that truth, that this is the reality. I am this really Atman, although I am not experiencing it at the moment. And then detach yourself from being identified with all the objects of desire, names and forms that one gets connected and involved in it. So one has to practice this on both sides. And Sri Ramakrishna used to give a very nice, very pithy formula for that. It is a twofold means. Love the God and stop the attraction to the so-called objects of enjoyment. What happens is, if we feel that this is an object of enjoyment, then see the psychology of this, that the bliss is in me, and I think that person or that object will bring joy to me. So you go after that. So you are going actually away from the source of bliss, isn't it? And then will it be a wonder that instead of happiness you court misery? So one has to stop that, expecting happiness from all the other things in the world. So this is very important. By the practice of this, attraction or love to God, God is the source of all attraction. It is therefore one name of God that is very popular is Krishna. Have you heard the word Krishna? Krishna? Krishna, etymology of that word is the one who attracts. Karsheti iti Krishna. So the one who attracts is Krishna. So all attraction is really attraction due to self. So if we are running to other objects, then stop that. And it requires practice, requires habit to be changed. So because we are habituated to do certain things, now not to do it becomes difficult. So like that fellow could not, sleep without having a smoke. So many are like that. If you are used to something, you want to go after it. So, but see that it hurts you, it creates problems for you, and so forth. So, it is, if somebody is diabetic, then it is said that if somebody is diabetes, I am not an expert, but it is, I have seen this many times, that they, and heard also from experts, that the diabetics, they get more urge for eating sugars. So they have to very conscientiously stop that. No, it is, I will not because it hurts me. It is, they get more desire to eat sweets. It is told that how a person is diabetic in our headquarters, Belur Math. Every time about 500 people are sitting there for meals. So they are, say, serving one by one, things come. So the sweets are being served. So everybody is being given one piece. If that serving person comes in front of this diabetic, he says, oh, don't give me more than 2. Then you know that the fellow has diabetes. So it is, so therefore one has to be very strong in cutting those ties. All those attractions have to be cut out because they spoil our life. They are our enemies, masquerading as friends. So God alone is ours, and therefore learn to love God. And this is the twofold strategy, and it is infallible strategy. You will realize God if you follow this. Soon you will find your life has changed. Any other question? This gentleman has a question.
Hello everyone, my name is Aminaya and I'm asking a question in regards to proper motivation in spiritual life. Is it important to analyze what motivates us while pursuing the spiritual practice?
Wow, a very good question. A very practical. What motivates us for practicing spiritual disciplines and love God and so forth? The motivation comes from two ways, two sources or two types of experiences that we get. One is that the experience of frustration in the world. It is, this world is a reflection. It is not real. Try to, go after it, and then you soon get frustrated. What one expected, one never gets, because it is not real, you see. Imagine, this, our young man, Avanish, because I know him, so I am giving his example. He wants to get ready to go out, and then stands in front of the mirror. And like, many do, they put a vermilion mark on the forehead. Now he sees in the mirror that it is not in the right spot, shifted here, there. And so he sees it in the mirror. But if he keeps on rubbing the mirror for that, will that change anything? What will happen? This nice young lady sitting there by his side, I keep on forgetting your name. So if she stands in front of the mirror and sees that, well, her hair needs some, straightening, And so she sees that hair in the mirror. So she takes some comb or brush and keeps on working her reflection on the mirror. How long will you require to do it? Huh? Huh? Forever, and it will not be done. This is why in the world we become frustrated. Everybody gets this frustration. Whether you are poor or you are very rich, ultra rich, frustration is a common thing. Because we all try to do it on the mirror. It cannot be done. So when you see this, you see that the reality is somewhere else. Now when you get educated, or even by common experience, if you see that the reflection is on that side, where should be the thing? Exactly opposite side. And so then you turn attention, and then instead of moving the comb on the mirror, she puts it to her head, and then what happens? It gets right here and gets right in the mirror as well. So that is how it motivates you to be indrawn, to try to see who you are, because the world is full of frustration. There is how people do not get frustrated is a wonder. Yes, they have a lot of patience, it seems, to keep on trying to work on the mirror to make things corrected. It is not possible. So that is one way, one gets inspired. That no, this was the Buddha's way. He saw all these things, saw an old man. What is this? Asked the charioteer. This is an old man. So everybody has to become old? Yes. I too? Oh yes, you too. If you survive that long, you also will become old. Then he saw a corpse being carried. What happened? Oh, the man is dead. Dead? What is it? Well, everybody has to die. Even me? Oh yes, you also will have to die. So all the fun goes away, It is when you see that it is just comes and goes. It is like a wave. Just as you cannot catch a wave, and then it dawns upon you that your effort has to change the direction and go to the real, and you will find it. It appears difficult, but difficult means what? You have to put in more effort, if at all it is difficult. What will you choose? Difficult or impossible? Difficult, exactly. What is impossible? See, it may be difficult to realize God. It is impossible to get happiness from anything in the world. So that is one way that things can move. Then God being our inner reality, some people without getting into this start feeling. The first is called the way that a person of knowledge practices. The other is the way a person of devotion practices. To feel the God within. Yes, there is God, no doubt about it. Many are born like that, with absolutely no doubt about God being true. But only thing is, now I have to find the source of that God. Where is it? So they don't worry about the world, whether it is real or unreal or whatever. Their focus is on finding the God. They dedicate themselves to that thing. God is in me. So find who am I, and then the God as it were manifests. This is another way of doing this. So that is how people get motivated to do that. That it is, this world has nothing real or tangible. Comes and goes. One feels I will do lot of good to the world. Soon you see that no, it's not possible. Who is to determine what is good for the world? Am I so big? I can see only my ideas of good. That will not be the good for the world. There is that funny story that the scout people, the children are told, you must do a good work every day and report. So a couple of these young boys, they reported the good work they did to their teacher. We actually helped a blind man cross the road. Wow, good, that blind man must have thanked you. No, he hurled abuses at us. Why? He didn't want to cross. But since we had to do some good work today, and we couldn't find something quickly, we took hold of this blind fellow and dragged him across the road. So, we decide, are we authority to decide what is going to be the good for the world? We have some little understanding, and everybody becomes very fanatic about it. You cannot do good to the world. Impossible. World is too big, and our ideas of good keep on changing. So that is why you turn to God. There was a philosopher. His ideas very much like Vedanta, Greek. He was considered the last amongst the Greek school of philosophy, although he never has gone to Greece. His name is Plotinus. So Plotinus therefore calls God as good. We all understand good. So that which is good absolute, that is God. So one way of looking is like that. That is the motivation to find the real ultimate good. Because something is good for you may not be good for another person. It is not, you cannot find something that is good for all. It is like somebody gets some disease, and then a doctor prescribes antibiotics, and then that did good to that person maybe. But so many bacteria, that huge colonies of bacteria, they got killed. For the bacteria, they would think this is very bad. This is weapon of mass destruction for them, you see. So it is good maybe for you temporarily, but bad for them. How can you decide what is good? There is no way. So go to God, and that is the good. So that is another way of looking at it. So, so many ways that you can be motivated to take up this search.
Isn't the grace of satsanga which we are having?
Satsang is a good, catalytic agent. Satsang, when there is like all of you are here, you have all come with the holy thoughts here, and so everybody gets helped by those vibes. So satsang certainly helps. If you go to mall, different thoughts come. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that when you see a lawyer, then immediately you remember some of your pending cases, court cases, because that is the company you go to. If you see a barber shop, you immediately remember, oh, I needed a haircut. So that is how the Holy Company is so important. Don't think that somebody else brings Holy Company to us. It is we ourselves coming together in such gathering, then we generate the holy vibes. They form a resonance, and you